Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's BizTalk. Once again, for those of you who've just joined us, my name is Wally Rauder. I'm your host for this BizTalk, and today we're going to be talking about creating an effective business plan. Thank you and very good welcome to all of you. Okay, let me share my screen and let's get started. I think there's people still joining us, but they're late, so we'll make a start anyway. Thank you. So today we're going to talk about developing an effective business plan. What is a business plan? It's like everything else in life, everything you plan to do. But yet some people think that starting a business is easy and they just take potluck. They don't need to plan. Unfortunately, they fail. Okay, you need to plan. For those of you who are here today, you need to switch on your camera and I need to see you. If you switch on your camera, but you disappear from the room and I cannot see you, you will not get a certificate of attendance. Am I clear? I need to see you sitting in front of your camera, attending the lesson. Otherwise, there will be no certificate of attendance issued. Thank you. So let's go back and talk about developing an effective business plan. What is a business plan? What does it mean to all of you? An effective business plan, guys, is something that gives you the steps and each step and stage that you have to take in starting, owning, and managing your own business. Everybody goes into business to make money. The business plan is like a GPS, just like an online map in Google, for how to structure, run, and grow your business. It's basically the way to think through the detail and the key elements that you need for your business to be successful. Why do we need a business plan? Why is it important to have a business plan? A business plan will reduce risk of you losing your money in the business. It will enable you to actually uncover what businesses have potential in your country or in the market you want to go into. The business plan will allow you to test your new business idea before you ask investors to give you money to help you start the business, or you invest your own money. Business, if you're going to actually borrow money or ask investors to give you money, you need to have a business plan. Otherwise, no one will give you money unless they know what sort of business you're going to run with their money. By developing a business plan, you'll be able to outline different ideas and scenarios and show which one is the best for you to make money. You'll be able to build a budget and a financial forecast. You'll be able to say, this is how much it's going to cost, and this is how much we estimate we're going to sell in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. You will know how much money you need to borrow or raise in order to start the business. You will also know what type of people you need to employ to do the job in order for the business to run. So you'll be able to plan how to attract the right people to work for you. That is after you understand what the people you need are. And the only way you're going to understand that is through developing a business plan. And the most important thing is the business plan will allow you to understand the market that you want to go into and help you build a marketing plan to actually win customers in that market. You cannot start a business unless you know where this business is going to run. Who are its customers? Which market is it intended to actually service? All right, in order to do that, you need to have a certain mindset. You need to think in the correct way. Otherwise, you will not be able to actually come up with the ideas or enough ideas in order to start a business. Let's talk to some people here. How many of you here have a vision of starting your own business? Could you wave your hands to me? How many? Fantastic. How many of you here have already started a business and failed? Anyone? Great. The reason you failed is because you didn't have me to give you any idea on how to do it. You just thought that starting a business is easy. But congratulations, because you had the determination to try. And when you try, the more you fail, the better you will succeed. No business is successful until it fails. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest companies in the world failed before they became successful. So hopefully what I'm going to show you today is going to reduce the failure. That means you might fail, but you will not fail so badly that you go bankrupt. You will probably fail in little areas, but as you go along, you will learn from those areas and be able to rectify them. Failure is not something you should worry about. Failure is something you should accept. Failure is something you should learn from. Failure is something you should appreciate, because the more you fail, the more you learn, the more you successful you will become. Manika, can you turn your camera around so I can see you, ma'am? Your face is the wrong way around. Thank you, Manika. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You've got a beautiful little baby there, Manika. Thank you. All right. So remember, failure is okay because failure drives success. Look at Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson, Virgin Airlines. He started with Virgin Music. He failed. He came back and fixed it. He sold it and made millions. He then went to Virgin Atlantic Airways. And then the airlines grew and grew and grew. Now he's in Virgin Space. He had Virgin Mobile. The reason he's been able to do all this is every time he starts a new business, he learns, he fails, he corrects it. And that's what makes an entrepreneur. That's what makes people successful. Failure drives success. As many academics will tell you, the harder you fail, the more successful you will be. If you've never tasted failure, your success will be very much limited. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Wave your hands. Come on, wake up, everyone. Okay, so let's remember when you were children. When you were children, came out of mummy's stomach, you used to crawl. And when you crawled on the floor, sometimes you would hit your head against the wall. But after you became more experienced at failing and hitting your head against the wall, you became more careful to make sure that you don't bump into the wall. Then you started standing up. And every time you tried to walk, you would fall down. And eventually you learnt from your mistakes and learnt that every time you stand up, make sure you hold on to something. Eventually you tried to walk, you fell, you learnt, you started again, and you balanced against something until you had enough confidence to actually walk. And then you learned again, because when you started walking, you started running, and when you ran too fast or walked too fast, you hurt yourself. So you learned not to run too fast until you learned how to run. So you as human beings have gone through a learning process. You have failed, you have corrected it, and now you're adults who can walk or run. Do you all agree with that? Yes or no? Okay, so now let's go on and talk about what you need in order to be able to develop an effective business plan. First thing we have to decide before we even get close into developing a business plan is the characteristics of a fixed mindset and what that means. So when you have a fixed mindset, you believe in your own convictions or in the things that you've learned from your parents, which you think is the only option you have or the only way. A fixed mindset generates an urgency to prove oneself or business, as the case may be, each day, because The output is the evidence that you are good enough, and because you think you're good enough, because you always rely on what you've learned from your parents, or the fact that your parents have already told you that you're good. But does that mean you're good at running a business? Does that mean you have the right mindset to run a business? If you have a fixed mindset, failure on a task leads an individual to doubt his or her own talent, because what you say, I can't fail. My parents told me I'm good. How can I fail? So you lose your own confidence and doubt yourself. I am and always will be a failure. I'm stupid, or my company won't be successful. These are the words of people with a fixed mindset. Richard Branson, Steve Jobs. If they had a fixed mindset, they would never have become the multi-billionaires that they are or were. What does a fixed mindset do? It leads to a desire to look smart, and therefore a tendency to, 1, avoid admitting that you're wrong and learning, avoid being challenged because you made a mistake. You get defensive when somebody say, why don't you listen and try this way? You start saying, no, my mother told me I should always do it this way. I know best. But at the end of the day, you failed, so you don't know best. It eventually will let you see your effort as fruitless, or worse, because you're not prepared to admit that you were wrong and learn from it. And people who have fixed mindsets are usually stubborn. They won't take negative feedback. Even though it will help them, they'd rather ignore it and fail more. Some of them, or most of the people who have a fixed mindset, feel threatened by the success of others. Some of you feel threatened because when you come to BizTalk, you switch on your camera, or you don't turn up on time every week. It's because you're afraid that you're going to learn something because you think you know everything. When you feel threatened, it means you feel scared. You're scared to take the risk to be successful. As a result, you may plateau early and achieve less than your full potential. And that is what's happening to you now. You're not allowing yourself to reach your full potential because some of you are not committed to coming to BizTalk and learning. Some of you are not committed to actually getting the skills you need to start your own business because you're afraid and you think you know it all. These are simple characteristics of a person or persons with a fixed mindset. How many of you here are honest enough to tell me that you have a fixed mindset? I want you to be honest so I can help you. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Tahir. Amira, you have a fixed mindset, Amira? Come on, admit it, Amira. Don't lie. Tell me the truth. Yes or no? You need to unmute your microphone, Amira. Hi, Amira. Assalamu alaikum. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you think you had a fixed mindset when you started your first business?
No,
Okay, so tell me, Amira, when you started your first business, what do you think it was that didn't let you be as successful as you should? Is it your mindset or was it just the economy? What would you account it for?
because that was my first time to manage a business. I have no experience and don't
Very
have
good.
enough knowledge.
Good. Well, actual fact, what you've said, Amira, is because you were focusing on a fixed mindset. So it's just the way you put it. But it's because that when you started, you didn't have the knowledge, you didn't have the experience, you didn't have anyone to guide you. So you only had reason to think what you thought was right. Okay. To some extent, that's still a fixed mindset. All right. But that's good,
Okay.
Amira, because you're going to be more successful than others because you've learned and you've taken the opportunity to try. And I respect you so much for that. Okay. And I promise you, you are going to become very successful, and I will help you all the way I can. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. But Amira, just let me tell you something. When you're learning from somebody about how to be successful in business, don't be afraid to say, I did it, but I didn't know how to do it. Amira, you know Steve Jobs. You've heard of Steve Jobs, the guy at Apple?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Steve Jobs worked for Apple and got fired. You know that. He first started with Apple and his executive management fired him. You know why? Because Steve Jobs had a fixed mindset. He will not listen to what they wanted. They fired him. They told him to get lost. So what did Jobs do? He did what Amira did. He went and learned. He came back and started his own company. In 2 years, that company was actually taking revenue in the millions. And that company came to the attention of Apple's board of directors. And they said to themselves, hold on, if Jobs is doing this alone, we need him because he can take Apple to a world multi-billion-dollar company. So how did they get Steve Jobs back, Amira? They bought him and his company. So remember when they fired him, he was only getting a salary, right? But now they bought his company, paid him millions and millions and millions of dollars. And after that, they told him to come back to Apple and paid him more millions in salary every year. Okay. But this time when he came back to Apple, he had no longer a fixed mindset. He had very much a more open mindset. Do you understand what I'm saying, Amira?
Yeah.
And let me give you an example with that. When Steve Jobs came back to Apple, he said to the board, if I'm going to run Apple, two things have to happen. I decide who I bring into the company. I run the company. And they gave him what he wanted because they fired him and he became a multi-billionaire with his own company because he learned from the mistakes he made at Apple. So he had a famous saying, when you employ someone to work for you, employ them to do a job they're good at. Do not show them how to do the job. Simply tell them what your goals are for the job they're doing. Do you understand the difference, Amira?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example, Amira. If you open a restaurant, okay, you open a restaurant and you employ a chef to cook rendang or any dish that you want, okay? Any ayam mirror, anything you want, okay? And then when the
Yeah.
chef starts working for you, you try to tell that chef how to make ayam mirror or the rendang or the fried rice like the way you want it, okay? So if you tell him how to do his job, why are you paying him a chef's salary, right or wrong? Do you understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
having a fixed mindset does not allow you to grow the business. It limits you from taking advice from other people. Do you understand where I'm coming from, Amira?
Yes, sir.
Amira, don't be shy. I'm here to help you, okay? It's okay. Don't be shy, okay? All right? Okay, so what I want you to do, Amira, is throughout today's lesson, I want you to listen carefully to everything I say, okay? And at the
Okay.
end of today's lesson, you're going to have to do an assignment and write a business plan for me to correct. It's going to be a 5 or 10-page business plan. I want you to listen carefully and put a lot of energy into that so I can help you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Good girl. Thank you, Amira. Does everybody else here understand how proud I am of Amira? She is good enough to admit that she started a business. She's learning from her mistakes. Do you all understand that? Yes or no? Good. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amira, for sharing that with us. Thank you so much. All right. So let's go on. Who else raised their hand and said they wanted to start a business? Where is the gentleman that raised his hand? Where's the young man gone? Amala, where's the gentleman with glasses? Okay. All right. I'm sure he'll be back. Does anybody else want to start a business? Put your hand up. Okay, Raquel Evangelista, where are you? I saw your hand go up and then it disappeared. Hello, Raquel. Tell me. Hi, Raquel. Unmute your microphone for me quickly. Yeah, Raquel, tell me what
Hi,
sort
sir.
of
Good afternoon.
business do you plan to start?
Actually, I started already. And then when you told, you just said that you are willing to help Amira, then I was planning, that's why I raised my hand to email you because
Fantastic.
somehow,
You want help
yeah,
too, right?
yes.
Okay, let me ask
I
you this.
started a small.
Okay, let me ask you the same honest question that I asked Amira. Are you a fixed-minded person? Yes or no?
It's like, I cannot answer that. No,
Okay,
I don't think so.
let me tell you the problem that you have. You have the same problem as Amira. You don't want to look at the mistake. Let me tell you, you've done
Mm.
nothing wrong. Raquel, I congratulate you on having the courage to say that you started a business. I admire you and respect you for asking for help. But part of asking for help is understanding the reality of your mistake. Do you understand that? So you need
Yes.
to learn from your mistake. Okay. Let's
Okay.
identify what I identified to Amira.
Go.
Why do you think your business did not do well or as well as you want it to? What do you think the reasons were?
Um, I think the way I get some supplier when I'm buying the items
The way you
and
contacted
when I
suppliers
handle,
and the different suppliers you dealt with. All right. Number
yes,
two.
I get the random supplier which I am not satisfied of. Sometimes
Okay.
I got some items that I am not happy, and
Right.
then
Number three.
yeah, maybe the way I handle it, it's
Okay.
mishandled sometimes.
Thank you. Let me tell you the true reason why you failed, because you've got a fixed mindset. You have a fixed mindset like Amira, okay? Because you thought that the suppliers you got were right. You didn't know which suppliers were right or wrong because you were basing it based on what you thought was right. Number two is you went down the road without asking for help, probably because you didn't know
So,
anyone to ask. Wally, you didn't know. I was still a
yeah,
stranger. And you probably wish you never met me now. I've told you this. Okay, but that's
no,
all
no,
right.
no, it's not
Okay.
like that.
All right. Okay. So what you did, you made the same mistake as Miss Amira. You're both very brave young women, and you should be very proud of yourself because you failed and now you're going to be successful a lot quicker. But your biggest problem for both of you is you're being stubborn, fixed-minded women. All right. That happens with everybody, even my wife. I argue with her every day because she's very senior in her company and she won't listen to reason. And when it goes wrong, she comes crying and says, "Darling, I should have listened to what you told me." Why didn't you? Because I thought I know what I'm doing. All right. It's typical, not
Exactly.
only with women, even with guys. But I want you both to forget about it. Promise me today, both of you, Amira and Raquel, I want you to say it loud. I will change. Both of you say it. I
I will
will
change.
change. Loudly, 3 times. I
I
will
will
change.
change.
Twice.
I will change.
Amira, you've gone quiet 3 times.
I will change.
Amira,
I will change.
good, excellent. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, a fixed mindset is usually the reason for failure. Understand that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All of you, when you went to school, you were drilled by your teachers to have a fixed mindset. Am I right or wrong? Your teachers told you what to wear, your uniform. They told you how to walk. They told you how you should do your homework. They told you to use a blue pen or a pencil. They even told you what you're allowed to eat or what you're allowed to do at school, right? You had a fixed mindset. But when you go into business, that fixed mindset is no longer relevant. Because if you go into a business with a fixed mindset, you're doomed to fail. Because business needs an open mindset. Business requires creativity. Business requires an open minefield of information. And you can't do that with a fixed mindset. It doesn't work. Do you all understand me? Yes or no? When I graduated from university, I had a fixed mindset too. You all know my story. When I first graduated from university, I thought I'm going to become the next Agent 99. You know, Agent 99, the secret agent, you know, the spy, Maxwell Smart. I thought that Wally could become Australia's most successful secret agent, Maxwell Smart, Agent 99. I thought I could. But guess what? I was a dismal failure. I decided to try. I went to, you know, government military training for 6 months. I jumped out of parachutes. I learned how to jump into a gas chamber. And then after that, they told me that I had to sit at a desk and cut out newspaper articles for 6 months and highlight certain words that may affect or hurt my country. But I was so dumb. I couldn't see myself sitting at a desk for 6 months. I resigned after 3 weeks. I spent 6 months in pain through training, and then I was in the office for 6 weeks and I resigned. Why? Because I had a fixed mindset. I wasted 6 months and 6 weeks of my life. If I didn't have a fixed mindset, I would never have gone down that road. I would have at least asked myself a question. Do I want to become Maxwell Smart, or do I want to become rich and famous and I want to help other people? And I would not have wasted 6 months or 7 months and 2 weeks. You understand what I mean by a fixed mindset? Because when I graduated from school, everybody told me, hey, becoming a secret serviceman working for the government is a great job. It was my fixed mindset. Do you all understand that, guys? Yes or no? Yes or no? All right, so let's go back to today's lesson. Characteristics of a fixed mindset, as I said, avoid challenges, live in denial, like you just saw from the 2 girls before I corrected them, get defensive or give up easily, treat your effort as fruitless, or you start telling yourself you're a failure, ignore useful negative feedback, such as the one that I just gave you, and feel threatened to admit that you're wrong, and give up too easily. All right, let's talk about a fixed mindset versus a mindset that is ready to run a business. Something you're born with, fixed skills, no good. In business, you need to come from hard work, can always improve or learn from others. As far as challenges, a fixed mindset would say to themselves, I don't want to do this. It's too dangerous. My mother told me I should never do this. If I do this, people will think I'm silly, I'm stupid. They know I don't know. So you give up easily. You can't start a business with that. You should be embraced. You should be ready to take new challenges. You should never be afraid to get an opportunity to grow. You should never say no to a new idea. If forever you fail, you learn from it and you try again. Mr. Amala, somebody's putting yellow lines on my screen. Could you fix that, please, sir? Mr. Amala? Thank you. The next thing you have to worry about is effort. Usually, a fixed mindset, you would say, oh, I don't have to waste so much time. If it doesn't work, I fail. Okay? Or something you do when you're not good enough means that you give up too easily. You need to have effort. You need to have 101% effort. And you need to be ready to learn from others and master new skills, and make sure you put in the effort to master new skills every day if you want to start a business. Feedback. When you have a fixed mindset, people tell you what you should or shouldn't do, you get defensive. Just like the girls now, when I asked them, do you have a fixed mindset? And they both denied it. You need to actually stop being defensive and be open to learning. If you have a fixed mindset, you take everything personally. When you're starting a business, you have to have an open mind, never get defensive, always be proactive, always want to learn, always highlight the areas you're weak at and you want to improve in, and never let your emotions take place of the facts and the reality of business. Leave your emotions at home. With a fixed mindset, usually you blame others for your failure and you discourage yourself because you think you're not good enough. That is a fixed mindset destined for failure. It's only a setback. So if you want to be successful in business, you use this setback as a wake-up call. You learn from your mistake, you fight harder, you learn faster, and you keep going. Characteristics of a growth mindset. So we've said that fixed mindset is the wrong mindset. We've now talked about the growth mindset, which is the mindset that people need to have to be successful in business. A growth mindset is usually having the conviction to do things and being prepared to follow through, whether you fail the first time or succeed the third time. Fail, try again. Fail, try again. Fail, try again. Every time you fail, you learn something new. Eventually, you will have the road to the perfect plan where you can make money. No business becomes a multi-million-dollar business unless it learns from its mistakes. Every day, they learn from some mistakes, whether it's dealing with customers, whether it's a product, they're continuously learning. The growth mindset is basically something that you need, all right? You need, as well as the willingness to learn. Okay, as long as you're willing to learn, it doesn't matter if you don't know, you will learn. As long as you don't take it the wrong way, as long as you don't become defensive. Where a growth mindset prevails, failure illuminates. Areas for improvement are seen as an opportunity to embrace, not as a demerit worthy of shame or disappointment. Do you both understand that? Where are the two girls? Do you understand that, Amira? Amira? Do you understand what I just said? Yes? Okay. Do you understand it, Raquel? Amira, do you understand what I just explained about a growth
Yes.
mindset? Good girl. Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you, Amira. All right. Tahir, do you understand what I just said about a growth mindset? Yes or no? Okay. Just talk to me, Tahir. Don't shake your head. Open your microphone. When I ask you, talk to me. Come on, you should know me by now. Unmute yourself, sir. Go ahead, Tahir. Do you understand the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset? I can't hear you, sir. You're muted. Your microphone is not working. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you understand the difference between fixed and growth mindsets?
Yes, sir.
What's the difference? Give me one difference. One difference.
Means you said that everybody have a clear mindset. If you
Okay.
have a clear mindset, then you grow your business.
Okay, but what's the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset? Give me one difference. Willingness to learn?
Yes, sir.
So the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset is being willing to learn, right? Accepting mistakes and willing to learn. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Good, excellent. Remember, guys, when you're learning, don't shake your heads. Always talk through your mouth, okay? Because that's the only way you're going to learn. So I can correct you. That's what I'm here for. All right, Tahir?
Thank you, sir.
Good man. Thank you. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir,
Yes.
I am in my office, so that's why.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll try not to ask you too many questions, okay? But keep listening. And if you have any questions at the end, you can ask me. All right, mate? I'm so proud of you, Tahir. Good man. Okay, let's keep going. All right, let me go back to my presentation. So remember, where a growth mindset prevails, failure illuminates, because failure is important for you to learn to improve. All right, so don't be afraid of failure. Don't embarrass yourself. Learn from it and be proud that you're learning from your mistakes and improving. Individuals and businesses may greatly differ in their foundational talents. Everybody has a different amount of talent when they go into business. Everybody has a different level of aptitude and different interests. Everybody has a different mindset and different temperament. However, when you go into a growth mindset, you have to leave your emotions at home and have the determination to learn, grow, put in 1000% effort and be resilient. Does everybody understand those words? Yes or no? Does everybody understand the words? Okay, let me just go back here. Let me highlight some of these words. One moment, please. Okay, let's put it here. Grow through determination with much effort and resilience. Do you understand that, everyone? All right, let's go on. Growth mindset leads to a desire. It gives you the desire to learn and therefore the tendency to embrace challenges, to be persistent in the face of setbacks. Don't be afraid of failure. To make sure that you learn from your effort, and the more effort you put in is going to help you move further towards success. You're going to learn from criticism and not get emotional. And you're going to find lessons from every mistake you made. And that is going to inspire you in your success. A growth mindset typically reach higher levels of achievement than those with a fixed mindset. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does everybody understand that? Okay, good. Strategies to overcome market disruption and uncertainty. Remember, we had COVID-19 recently. In order to overcome COVID-19 and survive and thrive post-COVID-19, business leaders also needed to use fresh strategic framing and create organizational structures that promote agility. So they had people working from home. They come up with new ideas for people to be able to work from home. They kept them motivated by giving them tasks to keep them interested in the business. They brought in agility. They started framing new ideas into the structure so they could survive disruption. And what happened to those companies? Look at Amazon. The market rewarded Amazon. Okay, Amazon were able to deploy their products and services with agility, and Amazon's business grew hundreds of times larger than it would have ever grown without COVID-19. Because during COVID-19, people needed to buy online. And because Amazon was able to fight and be agile and introduce new technology, open warehouses in 20 some different countries, and have the latest artificial intelligence and robots in their warehouses, they were still able to fill millions of orders and become the largest e-commerce platform in the world. Amazon overcame disruption and uncertainty. In order to do that, what do you need to do? You need to first be prepared to improvise, be agile. These are things you need to do before you start a business. These are the ground rules to developing a business plan. You need to first reimagine. You need to be prepared to not have a fixed mindset, to learn how to listen to people, improvise, and be agile with taking new ideas rather than relying on what you think is right. You need to accept that you cannot do it on your own, and you need to reimagine so that you are able to have a team of people to help you, and you must be open to working with the right government departments or agencies that can support you. Because if you think you know it all and you have a fixed mindset, you will fail. Part of reimagining is changing your mindset so that you bring speed, speed, rigor, and perseverance. You have to have an attitude of perseverance. So if you fail, you try again. Never give up. You need to be able to say to yourself, a problem is not bad. A problem is good. I solve it, I move on to the next. So to reimagine requires you to think hard of strategic ways on how you're going to build a business. What are the business you're going to build? How are you going to market that business? What are you going to sell? What is the right product after COVID-19 or after you had failed in a previous business? You know, the obstacle could have been COVID-19, or it could be you had a previous business and you failed. Regardless which way you went, you need to employ the reimagination strategy. Businesses, companies, government agencies, all of them usually focus on having the wisdom and the confidence of trying new things, new emerging businesses, new emerging customer trends, and trying to provide whatever customers want in the economy now and moving into the future. All right, forget about the Future Economy Council. Think of your own economy, to reimagine and move forward in your own economy. You need to replan. What do we mean by replan? Replan means to focus on replanning the way you're going to run a business in order to meet today's workforce. Replan so that you don't try to do everything yourself, but you try to get people with the right skills to help you. Can somebody stop scribbling on my screen? You need to look at the business models you had considered in the past and basically start from fresh, because what you had in the past is no longer valid today. So to focus, you need to focus on replanning and not relying on the past with a fixed mindset. Most businesses are compelled to change their business models in order to stay relevant, even if they survive post-COVID-19. Telecommuting was something we did every day before COVID-19. During COVID-19 and circuit breakers, people learned to work from home, and they had to learn how to run their business working from home. It's the same. COVID-19 has gone. You now have to learn how to run the business in a way that suits the post-COVID-19 era. And trust me, it's not the same as pre-COVID-19. If you think it's the same, then you have a fixed mindset and you will fail. Replan. Okay, A surge in the adoption of collaboration technology across sectors points the spotlight on business leaders' skills to lead. So what this means is when you replan, you have to look at what new technology there is. What are the new types of businesses? What are the things that customers want today? Are customers still open to going to the shop, a brick and mortar business, or are customers more focused on convenience and buying online? You need to replan so you meet what the customers and the economy drives or wants. You need to reinvent. You need to have clear goals. You need to make sure the customer goes first. Remember, you need to make sure the customer goes first. How do we make sure the customer goes first? We need to be customer. What? You've learnt this 4 or 5 times. We need to be customer. What? Who can tell me? Open your microphone. We need to be customer. We need to be customer centric, right? Thank you, Shakil. Do you agree with that, Shakil? Good afternoon, Shakil.
Good afternoon, sir.
Was
Yes, sir, I do
customer
agree.
centric correct?
Yeah, I was about to say customer oriented, the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, now explain to our fellow students, what do you mean by that exactly? Remind them.
Yeah, I mean that we should know what customers' demands are, what he's looking for, and we plan accordingly, because at the end of the day, we have to sell things in business. So we
Fantastic.
have to, yeah.
Go on, keep going.
So we should plan accordingly. What are the modern trends? What are the customer demands? What he's looking for, and we should hunt for the space and the gap where we can provide our services.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Shakil. You're on the right track. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you again. Okay. So remember, customer centricity, being customer centric. You learned that in previous BizTalks and in your normal lessons. And the other thing you should be focused on is delivering quality. You should always focus on quality. And you can't have one without the other. Unless you have clear goals about the business you're reinventing or the mindset that you're reinventing in order to start a business, then you can never be successful. You must put the customer first and be customer centric. Put yourself in the customer's shoes. And you must have a desire to focus on delivering quality from day one. Quality in the way that you build the business model, quality in the people that you employ to help you deliver a quality business that can provide what the customers want and need. To reinvent is to take up a radically new focus on customer centricity. Customer centricity is the ability of people in business or people going into business to understand the customer's situations, perceptions, and expectations. This is very, very, very important, especially after COVID-19. Look at airlines. The airline business has had to redesign the way it operates and meet customers' hunger to travel after they had been locked down due to COVID-19. Remember always that the customer is firmly in the driving seat when it comes to the required change on how you build and nurture relationships with potential and existing new customers. All right. Customers are in the driving seat. And what does that mean? When the customer drives the market because of what customers want, then they are telling you, this is what we want. This is what we need. And you as a new business have to be able to adapt to that. Otherwise, you have no business. Businesses that put all their customers at the heart of their organization will experience an increase in customer lifeline value and a reduction in churn, right? And what does that mean? That means also that your customer acquisition costs will be lower because more customers are repeat customers and they tell your friends. However, if you don't have word of mouth, then you have to spend more money to get more customers to try you. Remember that. Write it down. Customer acquisition cost. Customer acquisition cost. I'm going to write that in the chat box for you. Everyone. Just one moment, please. Everybody write down customer acquisition cost. Everybody hear that? Okay. Remember, when you're reinventing your fixed mindset to have a mindset that works, okay, a go mindset, a positive mindset, then part of reinventing is being able to truly understand your market, your customer, and what your customer or prospective customers want. If you don't do that, you will fail and your business will die. Okay, so does everybody understand what I've said so far? Remember, we said that you can either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Okay, let's go on. The next element you need to do is to recover. Okay, you need to recover. You need to recover from what you had lost in the past or recover any doubts that you had about starting a business. Okay, you need to make sure that you come up with a business plan that is going to allow you to start the business or reinvent your business within a budget that you may be able to afford or be able to raise the funds for. You should always capitalize on emerging sectors for growth. Don't focus on the businesses that are already there or have failed. Focus on new ideas. Capitalize on new ideas. Look at what Amazon learned from COVID-19. They became the richest e-commerce platform in the world. Learn from them. Learn what customers want now, because today's customer is not the customer you had before COVID-19. Okay, let's go into this. You can scale up through learning, remote working tools. Make sure you attend online classes. Make sure your staff attend online classes. Make sure the team that's going to help you develop the business start learning during the business planning stage. Make sure that the day that you're ready to unfold your business plan and implement it, you have people who are going to be able to have the right minimum knowledge to help you do that. So what does it mean to recover? Again, leverage on any knowledge that the government can give you, or any financial support that the government can give you. Governments are now providing more support in developing new capabilities and allowing businesses to capitalize on emerging markets and sectors based on consumer demands. And why are governments doing this? It's to help businesses come back or start again, or have the confidence to start after businesses all over the world suffered as a result of COVID-19. For example, during COVID-19, schools and universities could not teach students at campus. They developed online learning systems. Now, most of them after COVID-19 have decided, well, hold on, these online learning systems works. We made money from them during COVID-19. So how about we keep going? How about we keep doing it? All right. Seize opportunities during adversity. Remember this, everyone. Be agile and adopt to a sensible level of risk-taking and entrepreneurial spirit. If you're not prepared to take risk, you can never be an entrepreneur. If you're not prepared to fail, you will never be successful. Nurture and support with the right environment for growth. Listen to what people tell you. Have an open mindset. Do not just go into business because you want to copy another business. Find a way to reinvent. Find a way to come up with new ideas. Otherwise, don't even bother. You need to have a growth mindset. You need to acquire people with the right talent to help you make your opportunity successful. Look at the airline industry. Airlines needed to bolster their resilience by increasing their cash reserves after COVID-19. All right? Because governments said, we're not going to give you any more money. So what did they have to do? They had to come up with ways to encourage people to start flying after COVID-19. So as soon as airports opened and airlines started flying again, they came up with all these things to lure people to fly again. And now the types of airlines and the prices they charge have changed completely, because they learned during COVID-19 that some people prefer to travel on a discount airline. They don't want 5-star service. So consumer demand in the airline industry has drastically changed the airline industry. Have any of you traveled recently? Has anybody here traveled on an airplane recently? Yes or no? Put your hand up. Anyone? Come on, anyone? Has anybody traveled recently? Okay, Priya, have you traveled recently? Okay, talk to me, Priya. Where did you travel from? Which country to which country? Can you open your microphone? Go ahead. Hi, Priya. How are you today?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Where did you travel from to?
For first time, I'm going to Singapore.
Right. And tell me, what did you find about airlines now compared to airlines before COVID-19? Was there anything different?
I'm not sure, sir, but it was a first experience for to take a first flight. This one, so
All right. Okay. So this
it's
was the
not much.
first
Yes.
time you caught a flight. That's very good. Tell me, what sort of things did you experience? Did you find it easy to buy a ticket?
It's not say too easy to buy ticket, but we buy ticket by within online.
Right.
And I see the price level, the ticket price level, and promotion, and
Okay.
the food. Yeah.
Good. So basically, you didn't have to go to a travel agent. You could buy it online. You now have the convenience of seeing many different prices. You can choose the lowest. You can choose which one you want. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you so much. Previously with airlines, many airlines didn't have online booking service. You had to ring their reservations or go to a travel agency. Right or wrong? Okay, good. Hermina. Hi, Hermina. Go ahead, Hermina. I'm listening. Can you unmute your microphone? Yes, go ahead, Hermina.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Good. Have you experienced any change with the airline industry recently?
Oh, yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
Like before, the first time I was going abroad, you need to transact to a travel agent before you can get a ticket. For now, you can just book online very easily.
And what makes that convenient for you? What makes that convenient for you?
Then you don't have to go to the agent. You don't have to travel to go there to get a ticket. Unlike in online booking, you can just do it in a minute within your phone or your computer.
And you think that has reduced the costs for airlines? It has, because they no longer need to have 200 people working in their call center, because most people now book online. Do you understand what I mean by that, Hermina?
Yes, sir.
Good girl. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, great. So does everybody understand the impact that COVID-19 had on the airline industry? And the airline industry learned from that and are changing. The same as you guys have to learn, Raquel. Amira, you have to learn from previous mistakes, just like Singapore Airlines learned from COVID-19. It's just they learned in a different way. But they didn't give up, did they, girls? They're still as strong. They're still a world-class airline. And you guys can't give up either. I want to see you become a millionaire in 2 years, Amira. I want to see you become a millionaire in 2 years, Raquel. I want to see you own an empire of retail stores so you can buy me chicken adobo when I come to your country. Is that a promise? Yes or no? And Amira, when I visit your country, I want to eat the best spicy food you can offer me. All right? I love spicy food. Is that a deal, Amira? Good on you, mate. Okay. And when I come to your country, Mr. Amala, I want to eat the best chapati you can make. Okay. Good on you. Okay. All right, guys. So we all understand the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, right? I'm going to ask you a simple question, everyone. When you decide to get married, do you do that with a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Which one? Who can tell me the answer? Put up your hand. Wow. We've got people already with their hands up. I like this. Okay. Victoria, you're first. Is it a fixed mindset or a growth mindset?
You have to have a fixed mindset, sir.
Fixed mindset.
Yes,
No, no, you're wrong, young lady. If you get married with a...
married.
Hold on, Victoria. If you have a fixed mindset, what happens? Let's go through this and let me explain the rationale. If you go into a marriage with a fixed mindset, then forever you will live a lonely person, because when you go into a marriage, you have to have a growth mindset. The mindset has to be, I now have somebody to hug at night. I now have someone to talk to at night. I now have someone to help me cook every night. I now have a husband to throw out the garbage. I now have someone to pay for my shopping. You have to have a go-get mindset. If you go into a marriage, Victoria, with a fixed mindset, you know what's going to happen to you, Victoria, when you grow old? Do you know what's going to happen? Your husband is going to be sitting in the lounge reading the newspaper, and you're going to be sitting in the other sofa doing your knitting and not talking to each other. Is that something you want?
No, sir.
Okay, Victoria, are you married? Okay, are you planning to get married soon?
Not yet.
All right, let me tell you, Victoria, before you get married, I want you to seriously study the growth mindset, all right? And if you need any advice, Victoria, this professor will always help you. Just message me and say, Mr. Wally, I'm planning to get married. Is this the right mindset, all right? Because Victoria, you need to remember this. Hold on. You need to remember this even when you're finding a husband, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Victoria, before you get married, your father has to say yes. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
And if you bring a boyfriend home and your father doesn't approve of him, can you get married?
No, sir.
Well, you could, but your father would be very upset, right? Okay.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
So if you think with a fixed mindset, that means you're not thinking to meet your father's expectations, right? Let me give you a brief scenario. When any girl brings a boyfriend home for her father to approve, there's 3 questions a father will ask. He will say to his daughter, okay, Victoria, now it's my time to talk to him. You go and help your mother in the kitchen and make coffee, right? And he will say to him, young man, how much money do you have in the bank? Young man, can you afford to buy my beautiful Princess Victoria a house that she wants? Young man, can you afford to actually support her? You know, she's used to eating the best food. Do you have a job? And let me explain to you, Victoria, if this man says no, 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 and no, what is your father going to say, Victoria? What is your father going to say? Yes or no?
Allow, sir. He will not allow. No.
He'll say no, right? He'll say no. Yes.
No.
I mean, my friend Amala got married recently, so he had to go to the girl's father and got asked the same questions. But lucky for him, his answer was yes, 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 I have a job. And he's a lucky man now. All right. So Victoria, Young lady, the answer you gave me is the answer I get from every young lady who's not married. And it's not wrong, because when you're still not married, your mindset is like that. But the minute you start talking about getting married, Victoria, naturally you'll start wanting to change that mindset. You understand me, young lady? Can I ask you, Victoria, if tomorrow you won $1 million, you won $1 million, okay? Suddenly the lottery company gave you the $1 million in your bank account, right? Will your mindset about how much you spend on food change? Yes, because previously you probably never went to an expensive restaurant, ordered $200 fried rice. You probably bought fried rice at a small shop like I do for $4. But if you've won $1 million, you're going to say to yourself, you know what? I've got $1 million in the bank. I'm going to go and eat $200 fried rice once. So automatically you're going to go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Do you understand that, young lady? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All right.
sir. Understood.
I want you to keep on thinking, Victoria. I want you to keep on looking at what is a growth mindset. Every day when you go to work, I want you to focus on a growth mindset. Is that a promise?
Yes, sir. Promise.
All right.
Will do.
I want all of you to promise me from today forward, no more fixed mindset one. Forget your old-fashioned fixed mindset one. I want you to focus on a go get it done mindset. Do you understand that? Thank you, Victoria. Victoria, tell Juan and everybody, what sort of mindset do they have to have? Fixed or?
A growth mindset.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Victoria. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Joshua, Mr. Joshua Masoni, do you understand what I just said? Open your microphone, Joshua. I'm worried that you're falling to sleep on me, young man. Hello, Joshua.
Hello.
Hi, do you understand what I'm
Yes,
talking
sir.
about?
Yes, I do. I do.
Are you married, Joshua, or are you single?
No, not.
All right. And you have a fixed mindset or you have a go get it mindset? Okay, I can't. Joshua, I can't hear you. There's something wrong with your microphone, man. You need to get a new microphone, bro. Try again, Joshua. Okay, good on you, mate. Very nice. Good stuff. Thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the mindset frame is important, whether you're in business or whether you're just a human being. Do you understand that? Yes or no? Are you sure? It's the same when you go to buy dresses, ladies. If you buy the same old-fashioned dress that your mother bought for you when you're a schoolgirl because mummy always taught you that's the dress you should buy, you're never going to become successful because you're now an adult. The dress your mother used to buy for you is no longer in fashion. You need to get out of the fixed mindset. Do you understand that simple example? Yes or no? You sure? Yes or no? All right, gentlemen, you understand that, gentlemen? Gentlemen, it's no longer fashionable for a guy to wear a pink t-shirt. It's no longer fashionable for a guy to wear a white t-shirt when he goes out with a girl, because white is becoming the color the girls wear in their blouse. So the guy should always wear a stronger color, a color that emphasizes he's the guy, right? Not white. Okay, that's the fashion today, not me. That's what Armani and all the big fashion houses are telling me every time I buy a t-shirt. Why? I don't know. All right, so you need to get out of your fixed mindset. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay, let's go on. Talking about the airline industry, let's look at another industry. We've spoken about the airline industry. I think you all understand that, okay? Leading airlines today have learned that building a brand promise on sustainability likely to attract a growing share of business. Remember, I always told you about the Singapore Airlines problem. Please stop drawing on my screen. Otherwise, I will remove you from this lesson. Thank you. Remember, we said many years ago, Singapore Airlines used to promote the Singapore girl. But because the world has become more socially centric, that they found the Singapore Girl campaign chauvinistic or sexist because it was saying that only good-looking girls should fly. Okay, so now Singapore Airlines has rebranded it to flying a 5-star airline. They no longer use the word Singapore Girl. They're looking towards what the customer wants, sustainability. They want an airline that is professional, an airline that gives them value for money, safe travel, and good service, not the Singapore Girl. Let's look at the distribution industry. Distribution industry, anybody that distributes books. Distributors can learn from Amazon Business and other large digital players like Alibaba, Lazada, etc. Remember, Amazon is the best in its class in distribution and e-commerce. Why? Because Amazon learned from its mistakes, reimagined, recreated, rediscovered, and they did that during the COVID-19 crisis. And even during COVID-19, they were able to get it done quickly enough to capture millions of people. Look at the semiconductor business, the people that make the chips for the computers that you use today and every day. The semiconductor industry aggregate annual growth could average from 6 to 8% a year up to 2030, resulting in a $1 billion industry amid growth of remote working AI. All right, AI is artificial intelligence. So the semiconductor industry is now focused on developing more artificial intelligence, which will see a growth of 6 to 8% every year, year on year, up to 2030. Why have they discovered this growth? Is because people are becoming more reliant on technology. People want more artificial intelligence in the way they run their businesses. Look at electric vehicles, look at computers, look at electronics. The health industry, hospitals, they have learned that they need to prioritize patients. Where did they learn this? They learned it through COVID-19. They learned it because during COVID-19, thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people were getting sick because they weren't vaccinated. They didn't know how to take care of hygiene in order to survive COVID-19. Healthcare industry has now learned. They've now learned that maybe kids don't need to come to school, to the clinic to get vaccinated. Maybe it's quicker if doctors go to the schools every 6 months or every year and vaccinate children. One simple example. Hospitals now and doctors are catering for what consumers demand. Now you can see a doctor online and he will diagnose and give you a prescription online. You no longer have to go to the doctor's clinic. All this boils down to that you basically have to think about what you're going to do to build a successful business model after you had failed or not achieved your goals, or after post-COVID-19, after COVID-19 or post-COVID-19. You have to start looking at things differently and learning from them and trying to outmaneuver uncertainty. What do I mean? Do not let your fear of failure stop you. Outmaneuver it. Outmaneuver it and give it your best effort. Here it is here, outmaneuver uncertainty. All right. Remember, if you are an intelligent entrepreneur, somebody who is serious about starting a business, you must be capable of being dynamic. You must be confident to manage, and you must be focused on getting continual adaptation and learning from your mistake. You must build agility in the way you run the business. You must have a sense of resilience, and you must be focused on growth. All right, so what we'll do now is it's just gone 6:20. Okay, we'll take maybe a 5-minute break, and then we'll go on with the lesson. Is everybody okay with that? Can we have a 5-minute break? Yes or no? 5 minutes, everyone? Okay, I'll be back here in 5 minutes. Get yourselves a cold drink or coffee. I think some of you need coffee. Mr. Wan, I think you need some coffee, mate. Okay? Okay, Ismani, I think you need a coffee or a cold drink, young lady. You look very nice in your yellow top today. Nice to see you again, ma'am. Okay, all right, good, excellent, everyone. Get some coffee, Ivana. Okay. Grace, go and get yourself a cold drink, Grace. I need to see you on video, not your picture, young lady. Hello, Gurpia. How are you today, Gurpia? Are you learning anything today, Gurpia? Good man. Excellent. Okay, guys, I'll see you in 5 minutes. Thank you. Let's go back to our lesson, please. All right, so restructuring for global intelligence or for global resilience or in order to be successful. Business planning is different to crisis management. So please don't confuse business planning to dealing with crisis. Business planning is planning to set up and run a business after you've learned from your mistakes or a crisis like COVID-19. Business planning will prevent crisis. If you don't plan, you will definitely have crisis. Making time for planning can reduce the time you spend fighting fires later. What is an effective business plan? An effective business plan is one that should be based on data that is current today, not your old mindset or something that was current before COVID-19 or before you failed. It needs to include specific information about the business, as well as other details such as the industry you're looking at, the target audience you want to focus on, the services you want to provide, the products you're going to sell, how you're going to market it, and who's going to give you the money to start this business. In order to start a business, you need to have a vision. Number 2, you need to have a mission. You need to have clear objectives. You need to have a strategy. You need to know how to approach it, and you need to have set tactics. If you don't have a vision, you don't have a clear mission. A vision is what you want. What sort of aspiration do you want? Why the company exists and what the founder envisioned. You have to have a mission. You're setting up Amazon to become the world's greatest e-commerce platform. That was what Amazon was set up on. That was its mission. What are your objectives? What are the results that this company wants to achieve over the next 3, 4, or 5 years? What is the strategy? How are you going to do that? And what is the method you're going to use for executing your plan? Where are you going to get the money from? And how are you going to do it? Are you going to employ people? How are you going to support the strategy? Remember, every business plan starts with a mission, with an executive summary, which has a mission statement, company background. It actually is able to define the product. It actually leads on to a marketing plan. It looks for competitor analysis. It looks for SWOT analysis. It has a plan for its operations. They know how much money they're going to need, and they give themselves a timeline. When you bring all of these things together, you actually have a business plan. All right, let's look at how this works. Critical ingredients are, first, executive summary. Number 2, description of the business. 3, a clear definition of the market the business will operate in. You must have completed a SWOT analysis about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that this business will face. You must have a clear definition of what management team you need, what are their skills, and what other personnel or expertise you need. You need to have a clear definition of the products you want to sell or services you want to offer. You need to have a very clear picture of how you're going to market it and through which medium and in which countries and to which customers. What is the customer demographic that you're going to service? And then you must also understand the customers in that customer demographic. You must understand what they want and what they need. And you must have a clear outline of how much money you need and where you're going to get this money to start the business. Because without this, you can't start any business. All right. So what is the executive summary? Executive summary is placed as a number 1 on your list of ingredients of a business plan, but it can easily be the final stage later. But you need it at the beginning so that you know what the business plan should look at. You can draft it at the beginning and then you can update it at the end to make sure it meets the plan you've written. A great summary is one of the key features of the business plan. It serves as an overview of your entire business and elements surrounding it. And if you're asking a bank or investor to give you money, this is what they will read first. Be sure to outline the 5 W's: who, what, why, when, where, as well as the mission statement. Remember, the mission statement says why the company exists and what the founders envision. This is part of your 5 W's. Think about why you want to start the business and where you would like it to be in the future and how long it will take you to get there. All of this must be in your executive summary. Your mission statement is the start of creating a culture that people in your business organization, okay? It's the start of creating a culture that people in your business organization will live and work by. All right. So what you're saying is this mission statement is going to be the driver of the people who work for me. This is going to be something they look up to every day. This is a sample mission statement. Okay, let me just go through it quickly. It talks about a company called Paw Print Post. Paw Print Post is a sole proprietorship that sells customized greeting cards featuring a pet's unique paw print. And all customers need to do is send a digital image of their pet's paw. It offers high-end greeting cards to fill a niche in the market, serving pet owners who don't want the mess of traditionally captured paw print, which usually involves ink or plaster. So this business is about an idea of presenting or printing greeting cards for people that have pets and what the pet's paw, their footprint, to be the image in the business card. This is a sample of an executive summary. Paw Print posts ideal customers. Okay, Paw Print posts says that its ideal customer is a woman who owns a cat or a dog and considers herself a dog mom or a cat mom. Given the importance people in North America and now globally place on their pets, and the pet industry generates now more than $100 billion a year globally, there's a market not only for traditional customized cards, but for major holidays, but also a line of cards recognizing milestones like a pet's adoption or birthday. So they're explaining what the vision and the mission and the reason behind the company is. Given that the cards are customized and produced in North America, they're priced as a premium card with volume discounts for larger orders. Paw Print Posts will promote its products through a mix of industry trade shows, partnerships with established pet products, and digital advertising. They talk about their marketing strategy. Paw Print Post is pre-launch currently. That means it's not started yet. They're waiting to raise money to start. And projects earning over $1,000 a month with 3 months of launch. So they're saying that we have projects that will give us $1,000 a month in revenue within 3 months of us launching the business. The business is run by Jane Matthews, founder, who has an extensive experience in the pet industry and formal training as a graphic designer. They're giving the background of the person starting this business to show that they have experience in starting this sort of business. Okay, does everybody understand what I mean by the sample executive summary I just showed you? Please learn from this, because on Monday, you will receive the PowerPoint and you will receive a template to build your own business plan. Okay? They will come in an email with your certificate. All right? Do you understand that? There will be a template and you all must submit homework of a business plan, whether it's for a real business or one that you're just doing for homework within next week. You must submit it by Friday next week before the end of Friday. Okay? Please listen and learn. Okay? All right. So let's go on. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at the different types of elements you should also know when writing your business plan. You should know what sort of business structure this is going to be. All right? You should know, is it going to be a sole proprietorship? Are you going to have partners? Are you going to register as a private limited, etc.? It says here, Paw Print Post will operate as a sole proprietorship run by the owner. You need to include that in your executive summary. You need to tell them about what the nature of the business is. And they have. Paw Print sells unique, one-off kind digitally printed cards that are customized with the pet's unique paw prints. They've answered that question. Amala, again, somebody is drawing on my screen. Could you please remove it and stop this from happening now, please? Thank you. You must mention which industry you're in. Paw Print operates primarily in the pet industry and sells goods that could also be categorized as part of the greeting card industry. And background. The background is about the founder or the fact that you're going to employ people to work for you. All right. And it talks about capturing a niche market, unique greeting cards customized with pets prints without needing to resort to traditional and messy options of casting your pet's leg. Okay, so this is basically what you need to put in your executive summary. You need to set out clear objectives. Like in the example I showed you, they said within certain number of months. What did they say? Within 3 months of launch. Okay, they have projects pre-launch and projects earning over $1,000 a month within $1,000 a month within 3 months of launch. So they're basically telling them that the objective of this business is to earn $1,000 a month, okay, from at least 50 businesses within the first year or within the first 3 months. And you might want to describe your team. You could say Jane Matthews is a sole full-time employee, or you could say Jane Matthews is the owner and she will have 2 other people to support her. One will be a graphic designer and the other one will be an expert who's worked in the pet industry. All right, so everybody understand that? I've told you how to write the description of a business. What are the products and services you'll offer to customers? And you'll need to provide an overview of them and how they will address the customer's needs and wants, as they did in the Paw Print executive summary. You also need to talk about details of things such as your goals in starting this business and the customers you will service. Who are your customers? What are their needs? And what are the customer demographics? The market the business will operate in. You need to actually define what is the market for your product. Where? Is it people that have pets? Is it people in Europe, in your own country, etc.? You need to tell people how well do you know the market. You need to say, I've researched the market. I've been doing research and I've monitored the market for the last 2 years. And the reasons I've chosen this market are. You need to tell them, what does a typical buyer look like? What is their income level? You need to understand your customer demographics. Remember, in Paw Print, she actually told them about the customer spending $10 to print a card, right? Yes or no? Okay, it says here, Paw Print's ideal woman having a cat or a dog. Industry generates $100 million a year, so they have no problem printing a card. Okay, so they're going to price their card as a premium card. They didn't say the price, and you could recommend the price range in your executive summary, or you could just say that we're going to price it as a premium card with volume discounts, etc. So you can tell the person that's going to invest in your business how you're going to price your product. Okay, and you need to tell them about why is this business going to be successful? Based on what? Based on your experience, based on market. For example, in Paw Print, how many people have pets? Okay. How many people have pets in Paw Print? Here we go. 100 drive. Let's just go back to that. 100 billion a year industry, global industry. So you need to tell people, what is the footprint for this industry? Why do you think this business will succeed in this industry? What are the hallmarks? The markets the markets the business will operate in. You need to say that you've done the research and how you came to target this market. You need to tell them how you tested this market, how you put yourself in your customer's shoes to understand what your customers want. What have other businesses done before you, and how has that encouraged you to start this business? All right. What can you do differently and better than the others? And what's going to distinguish you from the others? What's going to give you the competitive edge over the others? Competitor analysis. You must do a competitor analysis. Otherwise, you should not be able to complete a business plan, or at least a business plan that anyone would invest in. A competitor analysis is referred to as competitive analysis. It is a process of identifying competitors in your industry and researching their different marketing strategies, and to actually be able to understand what they do as your competitors. A competitor analysis is a description of your company's target market and who the players are that you're going to compete against. It should give details about their product and your product that you're going to sell versus your competitors. It should give you the current and projected market share that you plan to get compared to what your competitors currently have. And you should be able to say how much sales and revenue you're projecting in the first month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, second year, third year. With a business plan, you should always try to show in your competitor analysis your projected market share, sales, and revenue for at least the first 2 years, and for bigger businesses, at least 3 years. You should be able to show a price comparison of how you're pricing your product compared to your competitors. And you should outline what your competitors are doing through marketing and social media, and what you're going to do in order to become more competitive than them. You must also be able to show why you have a chance of getting their customers? Is it because their service is low? Is it because based on your research, their product is not good quality? Is it because it's too expensive? Or is it because they don't have any new products or ideas which you're gonna actually make happen through your business? All right, so again, how to prepare a competitive analysis. This tells you here, you need all this information when you're doing your competitor analysis. This is a sample of a competitor analysis. And again, when you get my email on Monday, I'll give you a template of this, because part of your homework is to do a competitor analysis. That will be the first step of your homework. Then you will also have to do a SWOT analysis for the business that you want to start. And remember, we've spoken about SWOT analysis before. A SWOT analysis is you being able to talk about the strengths of the business you want to start, the weaknesses that you think your business will have as it starts, the the opportunities your business will be able to focus on and use to make money when it starts, and of course, any threats that you envisage facing when you start your business. There is the question defined there. What are our resources? What are our resources? What are our resources? These are our strengths. Weaknesses. What are our vulnerabilities? What is it we need to learn? Where do we look in order to learn and make sure we are successful? What processes can be improved, or what should we do different to our competitors? You all need to come up with a SWOT analysis chart like this for your homework. You'll be given a template and you have to write down what your business strengths will be, what your weaknesses that you envisage, what are the strengths that you envisage, what are the weaknesses that you envisage, what are the opportunities that you see for your business, and what are the threats that you might encounter along the way. You need to be able to outline your management team and the personnel that work for you. You need to give me an idea of how many people are going to work for you and what should be their background and expertise. You need to have a clear definition of the products and or services that you're going to offer through your business. Remember, repeat custom is after all the livelihood of business. If you have repeat customers, that will reduce your customer acquisition costs and allow you to focus on people who don't know you. Marketing. You need to understand and show and explain what is the branding of your business. What are the key messages you want to communicate with your target market and new customers that will go about getting the customers to buy your product? How will you get the market share, and what is the cost in terms of your budget to acquire customers? What is the budget you need for customer acquisition to get customers for market? Well, how much money do you need for marketing? Financial plan. Remember, at the end of this business plan, you have to be able to document a financial plan which will allow you to list out how much money you need, what you need it for, and what are the projections that of your sales and revenue you project in the first year and the second year, or even in the third year, depending if you're asking for a lot of money. For the purpose of your homework, I only want you to give me your financial projection for a minimum of 1 year, maximum of 2 years. Does everybody understand that? Do you all understand what I've just said? Yes or no? All right. So what will happen on Monday afternoon or Monday night, when you get your certificate, you will get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, okay? You will get a blank template for doing your competitor analysis. You will get a blank template for doing your SWOT analysis, and you will get a blank template for actually documenting your business plan from beginning to end. Does everybody understand me? Yes or no? The business plan template is like the table I just showed you. You just have to go through it and fill in all the boxes. Do you all understand this? Yes or no? Now, if you feel that you don't want to do the homework, that's okay. If you send me a business plan, completed homework, I will give you feedback on it within 1 week. If you don't send it to me, you won't learn anything. Do you understand that? But if you are going to send me a business plan, please make sure it's complete. Competitor analysis, SWOT analysis, complete business plan document with financial forecast. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? You are students. If you don't know how to project your finances, go and learn. All of you are studying with us. You do a module on financial management. All right. If you haven't done that yet, then I suggest you go to Google and say, show me sample financial forecast for a food business, and use that as your forecast template. All right. But you all have to give me a forecast. Okay. Do you understand that, everyone? If any of you want me to conduct a lesson in financial forecasting, please drop me a message and I may do that at the next BizTalk. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Okay, let me answer questions. Real me, you need to put your real name there. Otherwise, you won't get a certificate for today's session. All right, my staff will not issue a certificate to Real Me C15 Qualcomm. You need to rename yourself or you will not receive certificates. And if you do not put your correct name, I will not reprint certificates and issue them. You must show your correct name, sir. Mr. Amala, could you please message the gentleman, because I think previously he did this and we had to reprint his certificates. You need to show your full name on the screen, and it must be the name you register for BizTalk with. If you put this name in your BizTalk registration, you will not receive a certificate, sir. Do you understand? Would you like to talk to me? Can you unmute your microphone? Go ahead. Hello, hi. Please, you need to show your real name, sir, because otherwise my team will not issue certificates or send you the material. All right?
Sir.
Okay. Do you have a question
Sir.
for me? Go ahead.
Sir, today class link needed.
I'm sorry?
Sir, today class link.
What class link? No, sir.
Link.
No, we don't give material link during BizTalk. You'll receive that by email once you've registered your proper name together with your certificate. You must show your full name, and you will only get the material once you've registered with your correct name. Please understand, we have process that you have to go through because I issue a certificate. I need to know who you are, and I need to know your real name in order for you to get the material so you can submit the homework. Do you understand that?
Yes, understand, sir.
Thank you very much.
He will give the email, sir.
No, you need to actually make sure you've registered for this session with your correct name. If you haven't, you need to send me an email today saying, Mr. Wally, I made a mistake. I did not use my correct name. In future, I will show my correct name. This is my email address, and attach a picture of you here today in today's lesson. Take a picture of yourself here and put it in your email, and I will make sure that you get the necessary material on Monday. But if you next BizTalk, you don't show your real name, I cannot help you. Do you understand that? You
Yes,
must
understand, sir.
follow our rules, okay? Must
Okay, sir.
register with your correct name, okay?
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
so
sir.
much, sir. Does
Okay, sir.
anybody else have any questions? Sorry, I'm getting messages. Bear with me. I have students talking to me. Glendy Joy, did you receive my assignment yesterday, sir? Yes, Glendy Joy. I think I saw it in my email this morning, ma'am. If you do not receive my reply by Monday, Glendy Joy, just send me your email again, but I think I saw it. I have about 300 emails this morning and I saw it, but I promise I will reply, Glendy Joy, as I always do, ma'am. You have my assurance. Okay.
Understand.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions for me? Okay, Mr. Amala, could you make sure you write a message to that gentleman about his real name, please? Thank you. Does anybody have any questions about anything I've explained today during BizTalk about developing an effective business plan? Okay, can I remind you of our motivation session? Mr. Amala, could you show the PowerPoint, the poster for motivation on Monday? Do you have it, please? Just bear with me. Mr. Amala is going to put up a screenshot here. I want to remind you all that it's important for you to attend our company's motivation session conducted every Monday. All of you here need motivation. None of you here are millionaires. None of you are successful millionaires. All of you need to be motivated. All of you need to have your bottoms kicked to the last resort to push you to excel and do better in your life. You all need a wake-up call. Do you understand that? You all need a psychological wake-up call. You all need a kick up your ass psychologically, not physically. You all need motivation. That's why you're here. Please join us for motivation on Monday night at 8 o'clock. Motivation session number 7 with one of the most popular motivation speakers to students all over the world, my mentor, my boss, Mr. Benson Ma, will be doing motivation on Monday, the 22nd of May between 8 and 10 p.m. Singapore local time. You can take a picture of the Zoom link and you can just type it in and you can go in on Monday from 7:45 onwards. Otherwise, if you check your Telegram group where you got the invitation today, there will also be an invitation issued at 7:45 every Monday for motivation. Motivation is not a lesson. It's a casual discussion between you and a man who has become extremely successful as an entrepreneur and as a market industry expert that has motivated students to become successful all over the world for more than 20 years. Do not think that you have a fixed mindset and you're too proud to be given advice. Get off your high horses. Please attend the motivation session. I hope to see you all there on Monday. Thank you, Mr. Amala. Does everybody understand that? Does everybody understand why you need motivation? Yes or no? Does anybody here think that they're too smart and they don't need motivation? Does anybody here think that? Come on, tell me. If you think you're smarter than me, tell me. Do you need motivation, Raquel? Do you need motivation? Real me, C15, he needs motivation. Amira, do you need motivation? Good. Okay. Ivana, do you need motivation? Smile, Ivana. Thank you. Romina, do you need motivation? Thank you. Good. Hilaga, you need motivation? Miss Hilaga, Rosalie? You definitely do. I understand. Lovely Lynn, I love your beautiful yellow top. Do you need motivation? You do, don't you? Yes. Put up your hand. Good girl. I want to see all 150 of you at motivation on Monday. If you're not there, I'm going to be very disappointed. There's 150 students here tonight. Make goddamn sure you all try and get yourself motivated just once. You've got nothing to lose. Every week you live in poverty. You are struggling to become millionaires. You are doing your best to be successful and you need someone to help you. This motivation session will give you the energy to do that. Stop depriving yourself of being successful. Join us for a very informal, fun, open talk, open discussion motivation session. You have nothing to lose. Other students pay $500 at private universities to get motivated once every term. They pay for it. We are doing it for you every week to help you. Is there any reason why you wouldn't show up? Anyone? Anyone? I know some of you, you think you're better than us. You think you're smarter than us and you know all the answers. All right. Abdullah, I suggest you do the freelance training, but you join motivation at 8 o'clock. You leave the motivation session at 8:25, then go to your freelance training, Abdullah. Don't give me pathetic excuses and poor excuses. You come to the motivation training at 8 o'clock. You leave the motivation training at 8:25. That will give you 5 minutes to join your training. Do you understand that, Abdullah? Yes or no? Abdullah? Did you understand what I said, Abdullah? Well, you know, Mr. Ma has his own way of motivating Ivana, and I suggest you actually listen to him because he's certainly powerful at motivating people, Ivana. And the reason he does that is to make you wake up, because if he didn't use that word, you'd fall to sleep. You want a motivator that makes you fall to sleep or a motivator that makes you smile, Ivana? No, please tell me, which one do you prefer? One that makes you smile, right? Okay, trust me, Ivana. If you want to see me motivate, I'm more severe than Mr. Benson sometimes, but he is better than me. He's my mentor. All right. Trust me, Ivana. Don't worry about the word. Worry about the after effect and how encouraging he is. Because if you pay attention to the word, that means he is motivating you. That's my advice. All right. And remember, he does not intend to hurt anyone. All he wants to do is wake you up. Okay, everyone? Do you understand the difference? Yes or no? I love you all. I want to see you all be successful. I want you guys to make more money than me. It's a long way for you, but you can try, okay? You should always dream, correct? Yes or no? Where is the lady that's going to make millions? Miss Amira, you're going to make 2 million by next year, right? Forecast 2 million. Okay, Miss Raquel, forecast 2 million by 31st December 2025, right? 2025, Miss Amira, your forecast will be $2 million. Okay, I want you to work towards it. I want you to start thinking about business seriously. I don't want you to tell me you forecast $2,000 because I'll throw your business plan back at you, Raquel, and tell you you're not serious about business. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Annie Mae, I expect to see you come up with your homework as well. All right, Annie Mae? Good girl, Annie Mae. Good girl, Ivana. Hello, Ajay. Did you understand my lesson today, Ajay? I'm going to see you at the motivation session on Monday, Ajay. Make sure you're there, Ajay. I'll be looking for you, or I'll be sending you a message in WhatsApp and reminding you. Anybody else here need to be reminded? My co-host, Mr. Amala, thank you for another great BizTalk. Please remind everybody in future, their real names must be shown. From Wally Rauda, it's been my pleasure having you here for BizTalk, and I look forward to see you all in the very near future at the next session. Daniel, that's okay. You can put the motivation session on your mobile phone and just listen to it. You don't have to talk. Just put it on the chair next to you and just listen to what he says. You don't even have to look into the camera as long as you learn from his words. Do you understand that, Daniel? Put up your hand, Daniel. Okay. Jocelyn, do you understand what I've said today? Jocelyn Kationg? Make sure I get your homework, Jocelyn. Don't be late. Okay. All right, everybody, you'll receive all the details of your homework together with your certificate and copy of the PowerPoint material on Monday, okay? Mr. Amala wants to do the homework too, but he doesn't have time. You've got too much work, Mr. Amala. Okay, all right. Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you at the next BizTalk. I'll see you on Monday night, and keep on learning. Remember, your life is only as good as your learning. If a train runs out of fuel, it will rust and go to the junkyard. If you stop learning, you will forever be poor, because learning is your ticket to success. Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.